to the dish. As always, I'm Jalen Russell, joined again by Jalen Gray, giving you the latest from the NBA this week. Now, first off, Blake Griffin still isn't activated for the Los Angeles Clippers. After their game on Thursday night, Doc Rivers was asked if they have a timetable for when he's going to return, and he said there's no update. So we don't know when he's coming back. We know that he still served that 4-game suspension when he does come back. Do you think they'll activate him for the playoffs? And also, do you think they're better off without him in the playoffs?
I mean, he's their franchise player, so they're obviously going to activate him for the playoffs.
I agree with you there.
But I do think they have been playing better without him over the stretch of the season. I mean, Chris Paul seems like he's got into a groove. He looks like he's uninhibited on the offensive end. He just gets to dictate everything, and he doesn't have to worry about getting Blake Griffin those extra touches.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that their record looks better, 27-14 without him versus 17-13 with him. He hasn't played since Christmas. But you also look at what has happened with that team since he left. They got rid of Josh Smith, who was getting 14 minutes a game. Lance Stephenson, who was getting 16 minutes a game. Both those guys were messing up the offense. They were dead weight. So I think that you can't really hold that against Blake Griffin necessarily for their record being worse with him.
I don't. I just think that they've gotten into a groove and they look better off without him.
You can't tell me you're better off with
their offense looks smoothly. Their offense is running so smoothly. Like, J.J. Redick is getting more open shots, I think, because you don't have to give touches to Blake Griffin. DeAndre Jordan is getting a lot more oops down low. But you have to worry about Chris Paul all the time.
You can't tell me you're better off without a guy that's averaging 23 points and 9 rebounds, that can handle the ball, that can shoot mid-range jumpers, that can dunk, that runs the floor. I mean, he's not the best defender, but it's not like he's a James Harden on defense either.
Yeah.
The guy does play.
But I think it says a lot when you can lose a guy that averages like 24 and 13 in the playoffs, and you can still stay afloat and actually look like a as good or even better team.
I don't know about that. We'll have to see what they do with him going into the playoffs, though.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, coming back, he's not going to be in game shape. It's going to take him a while to get back into the groove.
That's true. Moving on, Anthony Davis is officially out for the rest of the season with a torn labrum, which apparently he's had for the last 3 years that no one really knew about, and also some knee soreness. People are really down on him this week. Bleacher Report's Kevin Dane came out and said that Anthony Davis isn't the player that we thought he was, which is this top 5 player that everyone crowned him to be last summer after the playoffs. Do you think that he has fallen from grace? Do you think he's not that player that we all thought he was?
I mean, I think that people jumped to conclusions too soon last year anyways. People were already proclaiming him as the second, maybe the best player in the world. I mean, just because we've seen something in him that we haven't seen in other players. He was a guard that grew to 7 feet tall, and now he's a big man. So he has all the skills of a guard, but he can play down low.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't even think he's the best big man in the game right now. I think that crown goes to DeMarcus Cousins.
I think they're a 1-1A. I mean, honestly, they play such different
styles.
styles.
Last year they were neck and neck. This year, I don't even think it's close. I think DeMarcus Cousins has a more profound impact on his team. But I can name 6 players ahead of Anthony Davis. We have Steph Curry, of course.
I'll give you that.
LeBron James, Russell Westbrook,
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard, and then Kevin Durant and Chris Paul.
I'm not giving you Kevin Durant or Chris Paul. I think Anthony Davis gets that 5th spot over both of them because he's one of the top 3 two-way players in the league. You can't tell me that being one of the best players on both sides of the ball does not earn you a top 5 spot in the league.
Hasn't translated into a lot of wins for them.
Because he has no one else with him. Not to mention he's been playing with a torn labrum the last 3 years. So imagine what happens when he's healthy.
That Dwight Howard has. He hasn't been the same since. So.
But he's also a lot younger than Dwight Howard was when he got that torn labrum. So he's only 22, 23 right now, I think. So
he's already
definitely fragile. But, okay, this man has no help in New Orleans, so we can't really hold a record against him. I mean, who does he have? Drew Holiday, who's always hurt, Tyreek Evans, who's always hurt and doesn't perform in the playoffs, versus a guy like DeMarcus Cousins or any of those guys that you rolled off on your top 6 that all have other superstars playing with them, some of them who are also featured in that top 6. That's not a fair comparison to say, he doesn't have the success in the playoffs.
But these are still guys whose
guy.
talent, I think, surpasses Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is a unique talent, but I think these guys.
There's only about 2 of those guys on that list that can guard 3 positions on the floor, take the ball up the court, also get down the post, hit a mid-range jumper, or hit a 3, and that would be LeBron and Kawhi. I'd say.
Okay, so Anthony Davis has the ability to handle the ball. He doesn't do a lot
because he was a guard, like you said.
Yeah, but he doesn't do a lot of it. It's
because
not like
he knows that's not how their offense runs.
But ball handling responsibilities.
That's not how their offense was run previously. But I think now with their new coach and their open system that was in Golden State, he actually will be bringing the ball more in the future. And I think with that kind of skill set, plus him finishing in per, in the top 15 every single season he's been in the league, including his rookie year. You can't say this guy. He's been top 15 in points, top 10 in rebounds, and top 5 in blocks each of the last 3 seasons. You can't argue with that. He's a top 5 player. I think people are just overreacting in the moment.
That's your opinion.
That's all we have for you this week. Thanks for watching. Have a good week.